Hi, House and Home. I'm Elaine Cecconi from Cecconi Simone, and welcome to my home. This is my own home. The building was acquired in 2019. It was a warehouse. It was basically a recording studio. It was one-story concrete block, no windows, very low ceilings. It was a bit of a bunker, actually. And when I bought the building, I actually bought it as an investment. But what happened was I didn't have any tenants because of COVID, and that's when I elected to turn this into my private residence. So it was a very challenging building. Some of the issues were it's right on the property line on three sides. The problem with that is at-risk windows, so you can't have windows right on the property line. So part of the solution to that was to cut in the courtyard in the corner of the building. That allowed me to get the perimeter of the building off the property line and do really nice big windows. The other challenge was really being on the park. As much as it's a benefit and an amenity, there was a certain amount of privacy that was important to me. So the combination of blank walls that face the park, but then peekaboo cutouts in the corners and windows on the street, that gives you that sense of being secluded, yet you can enjoy everything that the park has to offer. When you come up the stairs and you land at the main living, kitchen, dining area, it opens up, and it opens up not just vertically, but also onto the park, and you get amazing sunlight and daylight that comes into the home, and it changes with the seasons. This is a winter, so you can actually see more of what's happening, and the trees are really beautiful, but in the summer, it's basically a wall of green, so it's really interesting how much character each season brings to it. And the way the space has been organized, I've got part of the kitchen that's open and then part of the kitchen that's a little bit more private. So some of the appliances are hidden there. The cleanup sink is hidden there. So I wanted to create a balance between public spaces and private spaces. The kitchen is really important to me because I love to cook. I spend a lot of time in the kitchen. And often we want to propose things to our clients, but often they're saying, well, it's not been tested in the market. So in some ways, this kitchen is a bit of a guinea pig for us as well. So one of the things that this kitchen has is the Invisacook, so you don't see the cooktop. So it's all underneath. It's an induction cooktop, and there's 5 burners that you kind of, eventually you figure out where they are. It's been a bit of an experiment, but it's a really great way to keep a clean countertop. It's cool to the touch. It doesn't overheat. So it's great for families. It gives you more counter space. So it's a really wonderful feature. And then this is a little thing I came up with. This is an homage to my mother because when we were little, we were threatened with the wooden spoon. I make homemade pasta. I used to use a folding drying rack, and the problem was when the pasta would dry, it would crack and fall on the floor. So I've introduced this detail here. And what I do is I use these wooden spoons. So I line them up, and when I make pasta, I can drape them over here, and if they do fall, they stay and fall on the counter. I do not like clutter, but that's why there's so much counter space and storage below the counter, because everything is tucked away. The only way to mitigate clutter is to have places to put things. So you'll see there's lots of storage, lots of drawers, lots of drawer dividers, so there's place for everything. The dining table, it's so interesting because it looks like an egg, but it isn't. And it's probably one of the most comfortable dining tables that I've had in terms of interaction with your guests, because it's not your conventional straight people facing each other and people sitting at the head. It's much more social. And the tabletop is beautiful. It's onyx, and it's amazing. It doesn't need to be protected. A lot of the artwork in this home, they're pieces that I've collected in my travels, so they have a special meaning to me. The piece at the dining table is a piece that we got in India, and it's actually made out of upcycled wedding dresses. So when you look at it up close, the details are incredible. The beadwork, there's a little bit of red sparkle in it, and the beauty of it is it's one of a kind. It can never be repeated because they're all unique pieces. For me, it was important, the living area, to be in the middle, and the TV is important to me. I'm a binger, so I do watch a lot of TV, so the fact that the TV is more part of the kitchen was important to me than the living room being separate from the kitchen. In how I use a home, I probably use the dining room the least, I use kitchen the most, and living room in the middle. So to me it made sense that the living room is in the middle, and just the way the sun comes in in that corner of the house, it's better to have the TV off of that. The crazy light fixture I found in a shop on Dundas. I think it's a dental lamp from maybe the 30s or 40s. The light's not great that comes out of it, but it looks interesting. I've got this wall of all my favorites. Behind is a backdrop to the piano. I've collected the Vitra pieces over the years. To me, a home is surrounding yourself with the things that you love, things that are important to you. There was no basement in the original building, so I felt it was important to integrate some vertical storage. So this entire wall, from the top of the stairs right to the end of the building, is all millwork. And it integrates different things. So there's some drawers here below the TV, there's storage towers. And then at the dining room, it's more of a bar area, so there's an integrated fridge drawer there as well. The whole idea with the doors, like the verticality of them I really love, and the fluting gives you a bit of privacy. You still know there's something beyond, but it has a little bit of a mystique to it. What I wanted to do was create separation between the public space and the guest room and the powder room. So the glass doors kind of create a vestibule. So one vestibule takes you into the powder room, the other vestibule takes you into the guest room and the secondary bathroom. Behind this wall, it's at the north side of the building, I created a private suite. So there's a bathroom, a little living room, and a bedroom. So when guests come, they have their own space. They don't feel like they're imposing on the rest of the home. It was important to create a great sense of entry, so we created a little niche that the garage door is recessed into, and it gives a nice front door. When you come into the building, I purposefully kept the ceilings lower. They're at 8 feet. I wanted to have that feeling of compression when you come into the front. And then when you come down the hallway, from here on forward is all entry hall closets. So basically, all of the closets have lights in them, integrated lights, so that you can see what's inside. And then this is where the primary bedroom begins, at this big pivoting door. So this is where we come into the primary bedroom. I've got an area here where I keep my purse and laptop and things. I love sunglasses. I have quite a collection, so they are here. This is some family photos that I have from my mother's generation when she was a baby. So there's some interesting photos here as well. When I realized that I would have this space on the ground floor, I thought, what a perfect place to have your primary bedroom. The great thing about it is the green wall is something I wake up to every day. I dropped the floor a few feet lower so that it kind of increased the view to the sky and the trees. And it's just a really lovely private area in the home. The other thing I did was connect the courtyard also to the garage. I feel in most houses, we don't celebrate coming home through the garage. You have a front door, but the garage is kind of the back door. So I felt it was important to have a nice sense of arrival when you come home. The ensuite is actually ensuite and dressing, so everything has been built in, everything from closets to drawers, and the design of the island in the ensuite is actually similar to the island in the kitchen. So it was important to have that all built in and integrated. The other thing that was important, the ensuite and bathroom are off the window, so there's not a lot of daylight back there. So I've created this kind of niche, and it's directly beside the tub. So I can lounge in the tub, I can look out the window, and I know what the weather is, and I can see the green wall. So the vanities are unusual. I would say, well, there's no vanity, to be specific. I don't like clutter around a sink. So for me, it was important to keep the sink portion as minimal as possible. But everything that you need is tucked onto the side. So there's an open area for your toothpaste and your soap, etc. And then there's hidden drawers and cupboards above that. So the clutter that's usually on the countertop is tucked away. I've lived in the house now for 2 years. It's been 2 years in December. I love the house. It's a wonderful experience in terms of living here, and it's got everything I could ever want. But my passion is building, and I really do love the process of building more smaller scale things. We do the big things in our practice, our professional practice. So I'm always up for a new challenge and doing something else. So we'll see what the future offers.